We only have 3 weeks left to Brick Road Chicago. Hold up, wait a minute. Sorry, I was forgetting to do that. Now, let's get in this update without further ado for week 48 of building my cars with Venator. But first, make sure to smash that like and subscribe button because we have a lot to get into this update. To start off this update, I got a package from Lego and the bag was opened. So I'm a bit concerned that not all the pieces are going to be here, but let's see what we have. To play this happen, there's a bag opening there. There's one at the top. There's some on the sides. What happened to this package? I don't know if I got all my parts. This is not good, guys. Alright, so good news. We have all the parts. Bad news is we still have to redesign this thing. Well, not redesign, but remake this thing on the other side. Even though we've done that like 1,000 times, but it fell off again, and it's way too complicated to do all the math to line everything up with each support. So I'm going to do it again on the other side. There's going to be a lot of work, but I'm going to do that right now. So I just finished up this section of the Venator. It's looking very nice now. And I decided to do a whole bunch of greebling right here. I didn't think I had enough parts to do greebling, but I did. So I did a lot of nice greebling. I gotta do the edges still on both sides. But I just did this and got inspired to continue working on greebling. Now the next thing I want to work on is working on the truss for the underneath part. Like basically creating these things right here on the bottom of the Venator so we can hold big panels. So that's what I'm going to be working on right now. Alright, so we made some great progress. Down here, we have one of the supports in. And I was going to put this second support in right here for holding the bottom panels like we have up here. However, there was a brick right there. You see that brick? That brick caused all the problems, which is why I had to remove all of these bricks that you see right there just to fit this piece in. But while I was doing that, I found out that I should actually be taking the plates off here too to make sure the connections up here are tight and secure, because if they are tight and secure, then these won't have all the support that they can have. And the more support is the better, because as you can see, we do have some sagging on the sides because they are a bit heavy. However, we do also have some plates that aren't sticking 100% to the ground. Like no matter how much I push them down, they always want to come back up, which is okay because it's not that noticeable. But you know, the more support, the better. So I thought I would just try to make these just as strong as possible. But right now, we're going to be working on putting this back underneath here, connecting it to the top, and then we'll be working on creating the panel for this side. Because if you don't understand how this angle is going to go in, like this one, then you're not going to be able to do it correctly. So I need to build the big panel that goes on the bottom, which is the thing I'm going to be doing next. So in the next update, you may see this little attached, and then we'll be building the panel. So let's get into it right now. Alright, we got this thing attached to this, and that thing attached to that. Well, that doesn't make any sense, but we got everything attached, and we got all the panels on top done. So now it's time for us to build the panel for the bottom, which I'm super excited for. So I stopped the time lapse because I realized we ran out of pieces. I don't know how it's possible, but we did. And I have 1, 2, 3. I thought I would have enough for 4. And this is barely complete because, as you can see, we still need to put this thing on this one. And it's just like we're running out of pieces, which is really bad because it takes like a month for Lego to ship 1x16 light bluish gray bricks, which is a bit concerning because that's a major component I need for these panels. Also, the same 1x6 in red. Now, I would use Bricklink, but it's a lot cheaper to go on Lego.com, surprisingly. Like, of all the parts, like, if you buy bulk of this, it's way cheaper to get it off Lego.com than Bricklink. And since this is a budgeted project, I'm going to be doing that instead. So I'm going to place an order right now, and hopefully it'll arrive before Brick Road Chicago so I can get this other panel built real quick right before the convention, just so that I have 4 panels done before the convention. Remember, guys, my goal is not to be completely done with the Venator before Chicago, just to have the 4 panels on and to have a few other things done with the Venator. But if they don't come in time, then we'll only have 3 of these back panels on for the convention, which is a bit unfortunate. Since we can no longer work on the panels, I decided to move week 4's plans for this week. And considering we've only built a panel, I think that's some pretty good progress for week 2. But we're going to be working on the week 4 thing before the convention, which is adding the small details to the Venator, such as this section right here. We're missing a piece. It's not tiled off. This isn't tiled off. We got this piece missing right here. This isn't even organized properly. But we're going to be working on fixing the tiny details within this. Also, along with including the light trench, we haven't even made a prototype design for how there's going to be a blue thing going all around this thing. So we're going to be working on that as well this week on the Venator update. So we've made some great progress, as you guys can see. We do still have to tile this whole thing off, like this thing has to be tiled off and this thing has to be tiled off. It's just I don't have 1x2s or 1x3s in light bluish gray. I'm in dark bluish gray, but not in light bluish gray. So we're going to need to order some of those as well in the order that I'm placing for Lego.com, because we still need more parts for the bottom section over there and on the bottom section on the other side for the panels. So we're going to need to add this to the order as well. However, there still are a few things that need to be fixed, such as this tip thing and this tip thing. There needs to be another column there, so I'll add those in the next little bit. And then I have something new I want to show you. So this is kind of like a hollow shield thing for the inside of this. I made some really complex designs for this because I'm going to be running a light strip through here, and light will be able to shine from both ends of this, which is going to be really nice to see. I'm super excited to see how that comes out. But I created 2 different designs for this, and I'm going to go with this one just because it's a lot stronger, and this one's like kind of like loose. It's not close to breaking, but I think I'm going to go with this design for it, even though there's like really no design differences between them except for like the way it's supported. Maybe I'll just use both of them because I do need to have 2 of these, one on this side right here and then one on the other side right here. So maybe I'll just use them both. I also have this thing created, which will run the light through the top right here, right above it, and then right above it on here as well, and then connects to the edges, which is one I have already made. It's a little bit of a prototype design. I probably should have done a time-lapse of how I'm doing this and how much time it took for me to develop this idea, but I think this is a really solid idea for putting these big light trenches inside of these things. And then these lids will just pop right off, and then I'll be able to check on the lights, and they'll also be the ones that cover it up. So that's great. I'm super glad with how that turned out. It wasn't as hard as I thought it was going to be to develop, so that is amazing. We saved some major time with that. Now I'm going to install this little big complex inside one of these and see how that looks, and then we'll work on building the other one. Alright, so I'm about to install this thing in the light trench, as you guys can see right there, and we have like everything working out so that, you know, there's no thing underneath there. The wires just kind of like go underneath this little thing, and then they can go through the holes. So I just wanted to show this off to you. This is the thing that goes inside the light trench, and I'm doing it so that like there's always like a clear path for a wire to go through, because I'm not 100% sure how the wires will work. I gotta find the brand that actually allows you to just like put a brick on top of it and everything will be okay, but I haven't found the brand that's able to do that yet. So right now I'm doing like a little hole right there, and then everything will just be able to go straight through, and it'll look really good. I'm doing a very bad job of explaining this, but basically I'm doing a little bit of a trench inside of a trench. Alright, we've made some great progress. We got the light strip on the top. You know, you can't see it. There you go. Alright, we've been making some great progress. I'm super happy about it. except for this thing was a bit too wide, so we made it a bit narrower to fit in there properly. Like now it fits really good. So we're gonna put that in there, and then we're gonna show you how it looks fully assembled. Alright, we have now installed it completely. It looks great. Oh, this is actually tipping over a little bit. There we go. But it looks great. Oh, and that one too. I got it secured properly. But yeah, this looks great. I'm really impressed with how this looks for this lighting setup. And the best thing about it is we can actually install lights in here when it's done, which is why I'm going to hold off on doing the rest of them. I think it would be best to, you know, have the lights and actually install them at the same time, because it's going to be kind of hard to get this stuff off, you know, and it seems like kind of a waste of time to do that. So we built these, we got these flat now. I think that's a pretty good setup we have for this whole thing. The only thing I think we should do is make these really nice, because you see they're missing a few pieces, which I do have in now, and then also make this like flat with this thing too. But I think I'm going to do that, and then we'll wrap up the update. So we finished this side and this side just about. Now you're curious, Will, why there's still fill, or why you just fill it in all the way? Well, that's because we're waiting for 1x4 bricks, which is a best seller part. Which brings me to my next topic. Guys, the Lego package came in. What I mean by the parts came in, I only mean some of the parts from Lego came in. So we got our promo, as you guys see. But there is two different things. There are best seller bricks, and then there are standard bricks. We got the best seller bricks in. However, the standard bricks with the 1x16 light bluish grays, which we need for the panels, and the 1x6 reddish brown bricks, which we also need for the panels, we're still waiting on. And there's a few other parts with that we're still waiting on. But we got a big, humongous amount of parts right here. Within these parts, though, consist of parts to tile off this section right here. So we're going to tile those off, and then we'll probably end out the update. Alright, we've made some great progress. All of this is tiled off. Look at how great that looks. Honestly, this is just amazing. I'm super happy about that. And we got all the parts sorted. We got enough 1x6s now that we fill a whole pick-a-pick cup, which is very good to see. We got a bunch of 1x2 sorted, 1x3 sorted. All pieces we need to start working on our next panel. However, we're still working on the 1x16 bricks, but we can still do a lot with what we have right now. And we also have a bunch of tile pieces that I have right here, and a few other things that I've sorted away into other containers, but everything has been sorted, which is great. Alright, let's get out. How did that turn around? Let's put it like that. Anyways, that's going to wrap it up for this update. I'm building my custom Venator week 48. I hope all you did enjoy this week. Even though we didn't get the bottom panels attached, unfortunately, because we ran out of pieces, we were able to get the interior front bridge just about completed, except for lights, which we will be adding in the future. But I'm super excited to progress that. So with the 2 weeks left before Burger Chicago, my goal is to get the 2 bottom panels on in the back, and that way we'll have like a fully covered Venator, except for, you know, the hangar doors that open up. But that is all for this update. Thank you for watching. I'll see you all in the next one.